Jesus says in Matthew chapter 5 verse 9, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God." I don't know if you would consider yourself a child of God, a son of God. Do you think that people think about you automatically as a child of God when they consider different elements of you? You know, people can describe you as kind, people can describe you as loving, friendly, she's hospitable, she's loud, she's argumentative, she's a violence bringer. Whatever it is that people describe you as is one of those markers or indicators, the sons of God. Jesus in the book of Matthew is giving the great or the famous Sermon on the Mount, the Beatitudes. He says, "Blessed are these people for this, blessed are these people for this." And he comes to the issue of peace, and he says, people who make peace will be recognized as sons of God, will be seen and will be acknowledged as being sons of God, because God is a God of peace. Jesus is defined or described as the Prince of Peace. And in a world that is devoid of peace, we know that whether we're talking about wars across nations, we're talking about division in families, we're talking about generational differences, we're talking about tribal clashes and all manner of things, economic wars and stuff like that. There is just so much violence. And that's even before we come internally. So many people are struggling with the issue of peace within themselves, you know, peace of mind, peace of soul, peace in terms of how they're able to engage and just with themselves and even with the world outside. And it can be so easy to add on to that narrative, to just throw words that don't build, to throw, you know, more, what do you call it, add fuel to the fire, and things like that. But my challenge to you as we come to the close of our month of reflecting on issues to do with mental health and mental wellness, would you be a son of God in arising to be a peacemaker? Would you speak words that foster peace? Would you speak words that sow seeds of peace? Would you encourage conversations that are peace building? Would you be the person who stands up to defend the cause of that one who is oppressed or that one who is being victimized? Would you be the one to speak up on behalf of a group of people or an individual? Would you be the one to hold your tongue when it would have been easier for you to shout back? You know, the Bible says, I think in the book of Proverbs, that a quiet answer turns away wrath. You know, a gentle answer turns away wrath. So make it your mission as we try and seek how we can support people who are going through mental health challenges, people who are finding difficulty to experience peace in this season. Would you arise? I think that's the invitation that God has for us. Would you arise as a peacemaker in your family, in your home, in your school, in your workplace, in your nation? Not covering up evil. That's not what I'm saying. But being the kind of person who champions peace, who seeks the agenda of the kingdom, which is peace building, which is being able to bring reconciliation. And by that, people will know that we are, in fact, sons of God. My name is Angie Obwaka. Thank you for joining us here on CITAM Church Online. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.